Yo, what's up, everybody? Crum here, man. I just started a church planting residency here in Omaha, Nebraska with Mission Church, and I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about my journey so far. I started here in January. I really kind of reignited my love for church planting in November when we went to the Exponential Conference in Chicago. So we had a church planting meeting yesterday. So in this meeting, we started talking about this book we've all been reading called Let Go of the Ring by Ralph Moore. It talks about his journey with planting churches. Ralph Moore is somebody, he's planted over 2,000 churches all across America. Just an amazing man of faith. And so there was a lot for us to learn from this book. But one of the questions that kind of emerged out of it that Myron wanted to ask us was, what is the impossible dream that we have regarding church planting? And so all these people had all these amazing things to say about church planting. Just an amazing group of people with amazing dreams. And I sat there and I couldn't think of anything. As a matter of fact, the only thing that kind of arose when I heard that question was my own hurt. It brought a conversation that I had 9 years ago. So basically what happened was I worked in a discipleship program. We had an assignment. They asked us, hey, write down your dream and how you plan to get there. So I made a whole church planning thing, and it had nothing to do with rapping, had nothing to do with a record label. So I brought it to them, and I didn't hear back at all about what happened. I ended up confronting them. I said, hey, I sent y'all my plan. I didn't hear back from y'all. I would love to hear what you guys think. What I got back was, hey, I didn't even think you had a desire to preach. I thought you just wanted to continue to do music. I think that's something that I think you should be pursuing. Now at this time, I'm rapping, I'm writing for the worship music. We're recording albums. We're doing all that. I was in it, I knew that this person wants the best for me, so I just was like, well, maybe I should do what they're saying and pursue this because I'm good at it. And my dream for planting a church died that day. It started to arise in different areas. I had connected with a pastor in the city, and he had a youth ministry going on, and he wanted me to come along to the team and pursue youth ministry. So the leadership on the discipleship program were not for that. They weren't in support of that. So I didn't do it. I kept telling them, hey, I really want to be a pastor. I really, really want to be a pastor. I really, really want to be a pastor. But he also knew that my heart was for the inner city. He's like, all right, well, I'll hook up some interviews for some, pastor jobs and whatever. One was in Elkhorn and one was in Auburn. If you guys know anything about Nebraska, those are the middle of Nebraska. Not inner city, the farthest thing from inner city. So I went to the interviews. Obviously, it didn't work out. When it didn't work out and I was going to come back to the discipleship program, there wasn't a spot for me anymore. And so it was this thing where well, you wanted to go and do this, so you can't be a part of this anymore. Anyway, so I was kind of aloof, right? I was kind of in this space of I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I really felt at that time the push that I needed to leave. And so I left. It was helping launch a church plant for somebody else. And as I was planning this church plant for somebody else, and they kind of saw my posts and everything like that, that person reached back out to me. I was, basically saying I don't know, man, it was a thing of trying to guilt trip me for going to another church and trying to launch a church plant, and kind of made it more personal than maybe it should have been. I was part of this church plant. He asked me to come back and record. I was like, I'll come back, I'll record, I'll write. So I went and I recorded, and he was like, well, if you want to continue with this band and everything like that, I need you to start attending here. I ended up leaving the church plant that I was helping launch, and I went and did that. And that guy ends up leaving the church and moves away and everything like that. So I'm once again kind of stuck of what to do. So I ended up I was like, I'm done with church, right? I stopped going. I didn't go anywhere, and I didn't have a desire to want to plant for a really, really long time. I connected back with this guy named Myron, who actually was the guy who wanted to hire me for the youth pastor position way back when my church didn't want me to do so. There was no agenda behind him meeting with me. It wasn't him wanting me to do something. It was just him really just meeting with me and just seeing how I am. And that was rare for me, because I think a lot of my relationships has been, what can we do together, or what can you do for me, or what can I get out of you. I ended up going to a church planting conference in November called Exponential, and it just reminded me of the dream that I had that was killed 9 years ago, right? I was reluctant to jump back in it, but I knew it was time to really go after this. I hit Myron up and I said, hey, look, this is something that I want to do. He hit me up and was like, well, funny thing is, my church has the church that I pastor has a church planting residency. Basically what we're doing is training you up to plant a church. That's it. No strings attached, none of that. It's like, we want to help you reach your dream. It was amazing, man, that somebody there without an agenda for me, basically. It was like, no, whatever you feel like God's telling you to do, that's what I want to help you get to. I mean, I have never talked about this. I've never talked about my church hurt. I have never talked about my journey. I've never talked about any of that. So if what I went through helps give somebody else freedom, then it's worth it for me. I don't think anyone is a bad person. I don't think anybody was malicious in what they did. People are messy, leaders are messy, and it's just how it is sometimes. So I wish everyone the best. I wish all that. So anyway, going back to the meeting, that was the hurt that kind of came up. I know that was a long detour or whatever, but I wanted to give you guys some of that history. So we go to this meeting, and so they're saying all these things about their dreams and everything like that. I have this hurt, and I ended up telling the group where the source of that was from. Man, I just broke down, man. I'm not a person that cries a whole lot, but I wept, like ugly cry, like ugly cry. And that was something where I just felt freedom after it, man. It was like I had freedom to be able to dream again. So I appreciate you guys for following me on this journey. If you would please hit that subscribe button for more content, more videos. You can be the first to know about it. Yeah, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching.